Well, good morning. Today I'm starting something new. My goal is to find ways to honor myself every morning. And today I wanted to start off with a meditation walk. I've been saying that I want to get out and be more active. And there was a point in time when I was walking every morning and I stopped. And while I work from home, I I don't have much time for the activity. And the reason why I feel like I don't have much time is because I have a lot of things that I want to do in the house, things that I need to do for my business. I'm also opening up my intentions to be more present on social media, to share the message that I feel that I'm here to share in the world. And so getting out of the house for an hour and a half to take a walk doesn't really feel like something that I've been motivated to do because it's just doing that one thing. So the idea was posed to me to take some meditation walk and also maybe use this time to reflect on a topic. I created these cards. They are to assist me with my sacred work, which is weaving together personal development, spiritual growth, and social impact. So I decided that I'm going to pull from these deck of cards and that my goal is to honor myself by taking a walk, a meditation walk, and also share with you what comes up when I meditate on a particular topic during these walks. So today I actually saw in my mind's eye the Chariot card. The Chariot comes from the tarot. And when I see this card, it's really about merging two seemingly opposed energies and bringing them together. They're represented on the card that I have in my head, two horses, a black horse and a white horse. And there's a rider sitting on top of a chariot. It's really about how do we harness the power of these two seemingly opposed energies, knowing that they are one, because everything in the universe is interconnected. Nothing fights against itself. Everything and everyone is connected. A lot of times we can be out of alignment with our divine isness because we are seeing the person or the thing in front of us as something to despise, something that is against us. But if we look a little bit deeper, we will see how these two things are connected and that they are bringing us to a new awareness. The way that we do that is through divine guidance. So, divine guidance is the card that I pulled today from my deck. And first, I want to share what divine guidance means to me. First of all, again, I said that we are all interconnected and we're connected to our source, to the divine. Whatever created us, whatever you may call it, we are one with it. And that means that it is in us, around us, and that it is always pushing us towards our greatest meant to be. Even when it seems like there are things happening in our lives that we would perceive as bad, what we would label as bad, when we see it from that perspective, we do not understand that it is a part of the divine lesson, that it is divine guidance. And if we use the wisdom of the chariot, we will see that there is a way to harness that experience, that thought, that relationship with that person who seems to always want to move in the direction of what is undesired, that we can learn that something is seeking to emerge in us and through us through that experience. When we take the wisdom of the chariot and we apply it to the principle of divine guidance, now we see that situation as an opportunity. It's no longer something that we're here to fight against. It is something to show us that there is a place of control for us. I think a lot of times in life we think that we're just here, we're bumping around. There's no real point to life, that life is happening to us, that it's not happening for us, by us, and as us. And so what the Chariot reminds me of when I meditate on this idea of divine guidance is that we need to lean into the experience that we're having. And I'm thinking about someone sitting on that chariot and having a harness that has two horses who have two different brains, right? That are pulling this carriage forward. How does one make sure that both of them are working together? And I think now that I think about it, divine guidance really comes from trusting the driver. Who is the driver? That divine that is in you, that is you, is that driver. So if we think about this chariot as a vehicle for divine guidance or a representation of divine guidance, our physical state of being is controlled by our emotions. If we're feeling a certain way, our physical body reacts. So for example, when you are frightened, when something happens and it scares you, what happens? You jump back, or maybe you freeze, or maybe you fall to the ground, but you have a physical reaction because of the emotion that you are feeling. Also, there are thoughts that are happening that connect to your physical response. Oh no, I hear a dog. What do I do? Then that provokes fear. And then your physical body follows. So you have different energies that you are trying to balance on a day-to-day basis, that you are trying to bring in alignment with your soul, which knows all things, which is guiding you daily towards your truth, which is guiding you daily to the things that are for you, that are about the purpose for your life. And your soul is you. It's not a far out God somewhere who said, I'm just going to place this person here and, let them figure it out on their own. One of the things I believe is that before I came here, I had a mission. Like, we don't go anywhere because we just want to go. Even if you say, oh, why do you want to go to Japan? Oh, I just want to go. No, there's a reason why you want to go to Japan, right? There's things that you want to see, food that you want to experience, culture that you want to be able to admire, right? So there's always a reason why we do something. And sometimes I don't think that we think enough about that. Why do I think this? Why do I feel this? Why do I do this? There is wisdom in leaning in to those often opposing energies. And there is a reason why we really need to trust our soul's guidance, our divine guidance that comes through our soul, which is connected to all things. Imagine if the horses, from their perspective, were allowed to guide the chariot, were allowed to see something in their path and decide, oh, hey, I need to go this way, right? Think about perspective and think about how when you close your left eye and you look at something, and then you close your right eye and you look at something, you see two completely different things. You have a different perspective. And so imagine two different things carrying the same thing, the chariot, making their own decisions about where they were going to go. That is chaos. Sometimes life feels chaotic. Sometimes life feels like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's happening. I'm just doing the best that I can with the perspective that I have. What if we didn't have to depend on our own perspectives? What if we learned and we begin to trust the driver, our soul? We would have to make sure that we have given permission to our soul to guide us, to direct us, to give us wisdom that we can't see, knowing that it sees all, that it is in all, and that it knows the assignment that we were here to accomplish. When we trust the driver, we don't have to depend on our own vision. We get to trust the divine guidance. Our physical body, our emotional body, and our intellectual body will be placed in alignment with the wisdom of the soul, the thing that is connected to all things. And then we are in harmony and what I call sacred balance within ourselves, with others, because divine guidance is going to make sure that we're in alignment with universal law. When we understand the laws of the universe, how things work, the first law of the universe is the divine law of oneness, that everything is interconnected, that there is nothing that happens over there that doesn't at some point affect what's happening over here. We live in a ecosystem. And when we live in alignment with the divine law of oneness, we know that bringing good into the world that is for the good of all and for the harm of none should be one of the first and foremost goals of our life. That we live in a way that gives to the planet, that gives to the people around us, that gives from the awareness that we are abundant, that there's no scarcity and there's no separation. And I believe that one of the things that has really plagued humanity is the belief of separation and this belief that there is not enough, that our resources are limited and that we have to get before others get. I think that is a plague on our common humanity. So the challenge today is, how can you live with the awareness of divine guidance? How can you walk in the principle and the law of divine oneness, that everyone and everything is interconnected, that there is enough and we are one? And how can you make sure that you are harnessing the energies of your mind, your intellect, your heart, your emotions, and your body, your actions? How can you make sure that they are aligned with the wisdom of your soul?